need to address something. I think it's from last week's episode, Chris. And there was a viewer who will remain nameless. We're not calling this viewer out, but it's an interesting comment. Yep. And Chris definitely wanted to address it. So right now, we're just going to bring up the comment. We're going to read it here. Chris, do you want to read it?
Hold on, Jeff. Let's give them context.
Go for it. Sorry, you go for it.
Yeah, so basically, I think it was from 2 weeks ago now, right? When we did Robin, the book, the Urban Legends number 6.
Urban Legends, yep.
It hit number 1. It was number 1 for 2 weeks. It was in runners up this week. So still making a little bit of noise. But 2 weeks ago, the first week it hit number 1. I picked it for my number 1 book. And obviously that book had a lot of controversy because it was basically shown that Tim Drake, Robin, is bisexual. So that was the big reveal. So this comment pertains to that.
Sorry, we should have given context. You're absolutely right. So basically, this viewer disagree with Chris on the anything writers and editors do is to sell comics. They consistently antagonize and block fans that never even interact with them and crap on half the country. They don't care about selling comics. They care about being in a club and making sure everyone in their club chants the same mantra. Those are strong words right there. Chris, I'll have you address it because he's addressing something that you said.
Yeah, and look, I want to make it very clear, although I might not agree with everything or what this individual is saying, there's no disrespect here. He respectfully disagreed with me. And he presented his reasonings why in a respectful manner. And I just want to give this individual kudos. Obviously, he watches our channel. I think he's a subscriber, so I don't want to alienate him or make him feel bad that we're talking about this. But this is the fun thing about this. We engage with our audience, so we can have these conversations. So, and look, this is a touchy subject because when it comes to sexuality and these things and gender, those tend to be politicized, and then so many people have a hard time just finding a middle ground with politics, and people just shit throw and it goes nowhere, and we can't act like adults. So to this individual, I say kudos for approaching this in a very grown, adult, respectful way. We appreciate you, and really all you did was inspire more talking points for the show. So with that out of the way, let's talk about this. So Jeff, can you bring that comment up on screen? I want to pick it apart real quick. So first thing I want to make clear, I never said anything about writers and editors. I never said writers. I never said those two words, writers and editors. I said the number one intent of any business is to sell their product. So the only intent of Marvel in DC, in Boom, in Image, anything they do, when I say they, I wasn't saying writers or editors, I'm talking about a business entity. So I just want to make sure we're not taking my words and distorting them. Any business is in business to make money, period. Anything that a business does is, whether it's shock value, whether it's to sell their product, period. All right? Now, let's continue on. He says they constantly antagonize and block fans that never even interact with them and crap on half the country. Okay, first off, what a company does to make money, or even what's going on in a comic book, like a storyline or something happening, that has nothing to do with the actions of an individual writer or editor and what they do on Twitter. So this is basically a straw man argument. If a writer does something like introduces a bisexual character in a comic book, and then somebody tags them on Twitter and disagrees with them, and they block them, I don't condone that. I don't want anybody being ugly, and I believe everybody should be able to express their opinion. I will say, I have personally seen some writers act just as nasty as the people that they're pointing a finger at for being nasty. And that's not okay. Even if you think your opinion is valid, whether it's a political standpoint or a social standpoint, whatever, human rights standpoint, if you're nasty to somebody, that whether they're being nasty or not, and you're being that nasty right back, and especially if you're using your social media platform to do that, it's just childish and it's counterproductive and it does nothing. So I'm gonna, if that's happening, I don't agree with it. Let's bring that comment back up. And he goes on to say they don't care about selling comics. They care about being in a club and making sure everyone is in their club chant the same mantra. Okay, look. Do you guys know what it means to represent the company? Any business that you work for, like there are, and we talked about this on the show. When an actor signs up for a role or a director, that's why James Gunn was fired and then brought back. Because what does the company need to do? They have to protect their own self-interest based on the culture of their company. So anytime there is an employee that gets hired with the company, what are they supposed to do? They represent that company. So you could go from a McDonald's or a Starbucks or something like that. You represent that company whenever you have their Starbucks hat on or their green Starbucks apron or McDonald's hat, whatever the case may be. And if you do something that doesn't represent the company, you could face the consequences, like being fired or being written up or whatever the case may be. And a lot of companies, you're representing those companies even when you take off the uniform, right? I mean, look at, I didn't even need to give any more examples. So the point I'm trying to make is, if a writer brings in a political standpoint or a social issue like gender or sexuality or race or anything like that, all right? First and foremost, if it's being put into the comic book, it's being put into the comic book because not just the editor, but the executives as well agree with it and think that they should run with it because it's going to sell comic books. If a company is thinking that anything that they do is going to hurt their sales, they're not going to do it. That's a fact. And if you think otherwise, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And if you do, we'll figure something out, but we'll figure something out. So here's what you have. You can have individual writers and even some editors at times where everyone has a persona and everyone has an ego, really, to be quite honest. And maybe, just maybe, some of them take the power that they have in their art and in their job as a writer or editor, and they take it to social media and they use it to shove their opinion down other people's throat and do it in a way that's counterproductive. But it's not a representation of the core value of a business, in this case, a comic book publisher. It is not a representation of the goals of the company, because the goals of the company are to make money. Not only to make money, but to maximize revenue. Not only to maximize revenue, but to maximize profits. Revenue is earning. Profits is basically, earnings are one thing, but if this much of your earnings are expenditures, you can cut those expenditures down and your profit can be larger than it was before. All these things are the only thing that these businesses are looking for. So if an editor does that, they're not speaking on behalf of the publisher or why they're doing what they're doing in the comic books. You have to separate those two. You have to. But here's another thing. Let's bring up that comment one more time, because I want to address this piece here where they say they constantly antagonize and block fans, okay, that never even interact with them, and crap on half the country. Here's the thing. When you are selling a product or you're in a market, there is absolutely no way that you're going to be able to sit in a conference room of executives, whether it's a bunch of editors and executives at Marvel or DC, whether it's a bunch of executives and technicians or the scientists, like the mechanical scientists, I don't know the proper words, that make cars or that make airplanes. You're not going to get everyone sitting at a table that's producing a product, whether it's electronics, comic books, fashion, video games, food products. You're not going to make a product that is going to make everyone happy and that's going to be marketable to everyone. Every single product on the market right now, from Dial soap to my alkaline water to my Samsung iPhone to my crappy Gillette razor that I cut myself with, sitting back, shaving, doing the show. Every one of these products has somebody saying, screw that product. I'm not using it because of this and that, and I'm using something else. Everybody that makes the product is going to shit on a large portion of the country, of the world, of the consumer base that are out there. So here's the thing, guys. Why do you think every single comic book needs to be made for you? If there's an underwear company that wants to only make women's underwear, if you're a man, are you going to cry because they're not making underwear for you? Or do you feel like every single underwear company needs to be for you and you're going to go wear pantyhose anyways? If the comic book that has a Tim Drake character that is now bisexual isn't for you, don't buy it and go look at the thousands of other books that came out that month, because I guarantee you, if you're a middle-aged white heterosexual male that doesn't want, homosexuals or bisexuals or minorities or women leads and women that don't show big breasts and aren't showing skin, if you're somebody that doesn't want anything of those nature, believe me, the majority of books that are out there on the market still speak to you.
We don't want to put words in this person's mouth either. He didn't specifically say, I don't want a bisexual, whatever. But going to what you were saying, representation does matter. And it's not like they were forcing this thing, right? They thought they had an idea and they tried to execute on it. I have not read the book. I have no opinion on it. Other than representation matters. And if it works, actually, you know what? Who is it? Sean Miller. I don't care if they change the gender or orientation of a character as long as the story works. If they do it for the social aspect of it, for the sake of doing it, fuck off. That's right. Because if the story works, great. If it doesn't work, it's a horrible story. I don't care who's in it, whatever this person is, the story sucks, it sucks. Now, again, it comes down to that, but representation does matter. Chris and I have been saying this is our beliefs, right? We're not force-feeding you. You guys are forced to watch us. We're very appreciative that you spend your time watching us. But this is what we believe. We've been speaking to that when these issues come up. And representation does matter.
I want to say, too, because everyone was like, well, it's for, all it is to, for shock value. It's like nobody cared about that book until Tim Drake. Oh, Tim Drake's bi, so now it's it's tokenizing, or it's what's the other regurgitated shock words, buzzwords that they use, it's virtue signaling and all this crap, which is just, I don't think the majority of people that use those buzzwords, I don't even think they understand what they mean. They just watch a couple of YouTubers that spout that in every video and then they repeat it, probably even subconsciously. Here's the thing. Even if they did it for that reason, why is that bad? Because here's the thing. If Urban Legends wasn't selling, if it was dropping in sales, because whether you're heterosexual, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're Christian or Muslim, man, woman, maybe you weren't interested in that and you were buying other comics and they're like, let's do something different and see if it can help sell. And then they do that. And then maybe it helps sell comics because now people that can relate to that in real life, who weren't buying all those books that you were buying, now can buy that book, right? Maybe there are, and I know, I already know some LGBT people in the community that were picking up Urban Legends and reading it and saying, this makes sense. I can, you know what? Tim Drake, I could definitely see him. And again, I want to reiterate, Tim Drake is bisexual, not gay. Come on, guys, don't open your minds and be educated here. They are two different things. All right. So, I've already seen the response from some folks out of that community that they're like, I can get behind this work. So, and to your point, Jeff, I did kind of go on a tangent there. And if that individual was watching, that tangent wasn't meant for him though, but it was meant for the larger consensus of, I think, how a lot of people think and read into these things. And I had to clarify those things. I really did. Not every single comic book that comes out is made for you. So stop feeling entitled. I know we all want to get entitled, even myself, because we love comic books so much, but you're not going to like them all. They're not going to be all marketed for you. It's perfectly freaking fine. I love music, but I don't need to go to there's not even record stores anymore, but like a Sam Goody, who knows about Sam Goody? I'm not going to go to a record store and buy a Backstreet Boys album just because I think that all music needs to speak to me. Hell no, that crap is garbage. But am I going to sit here and throw a fit and say the Backstreet Boys it's just a gimmick, or it's just virtue signaling and it's ruining music? And, it's like, come on, man, like, give it a break, chill, collect what you enjoy, whether it's the art, the stories, the characters, and just do you and let other people have their characters. If anybody is on the internet and on social media being ugly, no matter what their opinions are, no matter what their political beliefs are, their religion or the color of their skin, no matter if they're an editor or a writer or, just some random comic book lover that's in a chat or in a comment section, if anybody is ugly to other people, that is wrong and that should never happen. But those actions do not speak for the business decisions of a multi-billion dollar company.
Absolutely. I just want to share this right now too. It's worth pointing out. Never mind, I can't share the screen, but the sales for this issue here, Urban Legends number 6. I mean, today there was one that was sold for $35 still, so it's still going for a premium. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. We're talking just September alone. The lowest there's been I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's been 8 recorded sales in September alone. The lowest is $19.50, and the highest is that $34.99, which was today. So, it's a book that people are still going to be looking for. So that are still looking for it, and this has been a few weeks. So again, anyways, well said. Representation matters, and we will end it right there.
I want to actually, just like I want to bring up one more thing. Bring up that Sean comment about James Gunn being brought back. This goes to exactly what I was saying. What is the company in business for? To make money and protect their interests. By protecting their interests, it means making money, as much money as they can. They fired him to protect their interests.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure that they wouldn't lose money, they brought him back to protect their interests, to make sure they didn't lose money.
Amen to that. Amen to that. All right. That there, though, wraps up a serious topic to end the show. We never usually do that. We never usually do that. But again, we're very appreciative of your opinions. We respect all you guys as long as you're not trying to hurt people and be, nasty. I think we do a pretty good job all around with that, and I'm very happy with the group that we have that watches this show on the regular. I consider you guys a necessity every week for myself being able to do this show, and I know Chris does the same. Very appreciative.